The following program is exclusively produced by Big Head Amusements for KQEK Digital.
You scored quite a few documentaries covering subjects like extreme weather, massive structures built by man, and wild animals. Was the subject of British vets from the Afghanistan War more challenging to score?
You know, the funny thing is that I think that it doesn't matter, and it sounds bad, but the subject matter is the same, because the music is basically just trying to not take away the focus from the words. So whether it's the story, whether it's a documentary on J.D. Salinger, or it is about these injured soldiers, the music really has to just sit there and help tell the story, but not distract you. So the weird thing is that it's kind of it's in the same world.
Were you brought in early into the production, or did you compose to two complete episodes?
Gosh, this is going back to, I think, 2.5 years now. So you get to see a lot of footage. So as soon as they finish, you start getting sent daily. So you start seeing exactly what's been going on. So like with the next journey that they're doing, they're already talking about it, and but it's the same process as a film. Sometimes you're fortunate enough to be brought in at the beginning, so you're able to write whilst the actors are actually acting. But normally you're brought in when the editing process starts.
I like the way the early backstory moments with the vets are quite understated, because it ensures that their stories aren't transformed into movie montages. Your music ensures their human sagas remain affecting and accessible.
The way I look at it is that it's the scenery is fantastic, but to me the most important thing is I can't get over their life stories, and to me it could be a mountain that they're climbing, or the North Pole, or Everest. That's not the point. It's the fact that they're able to get as far as even the base camp of these journeys, because I've got all of my functioning limbs and I couldn't ever contemplate what they do. So the amazing thing is that when I see these fantastic visual shots of the Arctic or the Himalayas, I still go, oh yes, very nice. But then I'm more amazed that Jacko has got one arm, and he's actually climbing this mountain. I still get blown away with that. What they're doing is a very heroic thing, but also most importantly, yes, they're brave for doing what they're doing, but it's not Superman arriving on the scene musically, and it's to try to kind of sit and enhance what is going on with the fact that what they're doing is pretty amazing, and also we have to look at it and musically trying to make it realistic as well, because I think that after a while you get used to the fact they've got these disabilities, and in a kind of a weird way you kind of take it for granted, and you can't take it for granted. It's a humongous task that is occurring here. So I think musically, the main theme I tried to go for emotion instead of massive proudness.
Did you find it difficult to score scenes with Prince Harry because of his celebrity persona, which he interestingly addresses in the documentary?
I think you know what, it was something that never troubled me, because I think, especially in the first one, when you saw him, after 5 minutes, you stopped thinking that this was an heir to the throne. You just automatically looked at him as one of the soldiers. So musically, I think it was them as a unit and them as a group of people. Whether it was him or not, I don't think it was never a major factor. It was mainly a factor that this group of ex-soldiers, and actually not ex, because some of them are still serving. So it's to look at it as them as an actual unit, and even though it is called Harry's Mountain Heroes or Harry's Arctic Heroes, it's to look at them as an actual group, because he looked as he's as equal as the others when they're there.
Have you ventured to any of the exotic locations in any of the documentaries that you've scored?
I wish. I wish I had. I have out of all the projects I've ever done, I wish I'd seen any of them. But unfortunately, it's normally Dean Street in Soho or Santa Monica in Los Angeles. So unfortunately, no, I never have the luxurious task of being able to go to any of these places because unfortunately I'm always too busy writing.
Your resume is filled with a balance of documentaries, reality programs, comedies, and video game subjects, and I wonder if the eclecticism stems from scoring opportunities that have been presented to you, or if it's your own desire to keep trying new genres and stories.
No, I think it's just to keep to if you keep doing the same genre or the same style, you get bored, and I get bored very easily. And I like to be able to kind of just have different tasks, and I think it's the same from. Listen, things like these documentaries are very important. Apart from the fact that they look great, but they're also a very important message. And the thing is that in Britain we do forget that these soldiers come back and that they've got to carry on their life. So, as well as writing music for the craft and the art, it's also doing it to get this message out and be part of something that is supporting that charity, Walking with the Wounded. But the thing is that the same with video games. Video games, there's no deep message there. But the thing is that 1 minute you're doing an action game, and then last week I just finished a very sweet British film where it's based on comedy. So it's basically just to keep yourself alive and to be able to kind of. If I had to do horror music every day of the year, I think I'd kill myself. I wouldn't be able to generate anything new if I was doing the same thing every single day. So it's mainly to make it more fun. The role of music is the same as an actor's. And if an actor, you've seen it with Robin Williams and Jim Carrey, they go into a niche of being seen as the comedian, and then all of a sudden they break out of it and start doing other films. And I think with music it's just the same. To me, you need a break from doing action music because you can't reinvent it every single project. You have to step away from it. And what's weird, I do find if I'm working on something that's even a comedy, you get ideas and fresh perspectives of things, and then that can relate to an action film, which sounds ironic, but each project you work on makes you learn more about the process or different techniques of scoring to picture, and it means you bring those ideas you've learned into your next project. So it's good to try different genres.
And finally, you've worked quite a bit with Hans Zimmer and his associates, and I wonder if you could talk a little bit about the collaborative process and working with other composers, in addition to the mentoring process that's involved, because it's something that I think Zimmer has sort of passed on to some of his own associates.
It's a fantastic way of working and living a life, I think, because it's like any other industry with an apprentice, and you have a master who you intern for, and you learn a craft, and you learn how the craft is actually done, and then it gets passed on to you. And with music, I've been very, very fortunate to have probably the most. It's not me being biased, but I think one of the most successful living composers of ever. And to learn from that is you could never pay for that at any university or college. So you're in a very privileged situation to be doing that, and it's not just. You don't learn just how to write music. You learn the whole process of even collaborating with people or collaborating with directors. I think the whole role of film music isn't. It's not necessarily all about writing music. It's 50-50, 50% writing about music, and the rest, the remaining 50 is selling the music, because you work with somebody who's got a vision of how they want the music also. And they've got a film, and you have to work with them to get what's in their head out and help tell a story. So You learn these situations as well, and how to deal with meetings, and just talk with people. Composers are very lonely people 9 times out of 10, because they just sit in a room writing music. So there's a whole world out there, an industry, where you have to kind of be able to sit and deal with clients and listen to what their thoughts are. So it's more complicated than just writing music a lot of the time, and that's one of the great things you learn.
For related film and film music reviews, please visit KQEK.com. This program is copyright 2013 by Mark R. Hassan.